What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Atomic Bear Show. We are working out kinks and getting things done. And we've also got a special guest with us tonight. We're going to learn a little bit about fishing. And we also got a cool giveaway that we're going to be doing at the end of the show. So be sure to stick around for that. But if everybody can hear me okay in the chats, y'all let me know. And guys, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Boom, boom, boom. And another one, guys. Welcome to the show. We got Big Jeff with us. And, of course, we got Big Ben Baldwin with us. What's going on, man?
What's going on?
You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing perfect.
You ready for that hunting trip?
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
heading out right after this.
That's it. We are headed out right after this, going hunting. I got the chats at least on one screen, as y'all can see. Not even sure if y'all can read them. But we got a special guest, and we're going to go ahead and jump into this. But before we do that, let's go ahead and bring in Big Jeff. What's going on, man?
Hey, Matt. How are you?
Doing good, dude. How you been?
Yeah, so it's been a wonderful week. A lot of things are happening at Atomic Bear, and we're so excited about what's happening in the business. We have ideas for new products. We're coming up with new videos, and that's awesome. But tonight we were supposed to have Helder Gomes. He cannot make it. He was back from his military base where he was training guys there and women and girls, and he made his way back home. But he lives in the state of New York, and they had a massive storm, and his pipe just blew up and is flooded in his basement, and he has no internet. Just a mess. So he says, "Hey, can I come late another time to the show?" I said, "Of course." But we have everything planned, right? So you had a friend of yours that was available, and I'm so excited that he could make it. And I've not met him, so I'm excited to meet him. And I know. Do you want to talk to us about your friend?
Yeah. Let me bring him in. Basically, and a lot of guys from Product Probes might remember this guy, but we used to kind of co-host on the show together. We've done some knife reviews, but this guy right here is an expert when it comes to fishing. He's going to hit it big. He makes his own rods, and I'm always calling him about fishing stuff, and he kind of gets sick of me calling him all the time because I'm like, dude, and you know what's crazy is I thought I knew a lot about fishing until I met this guy. So what's going on, Big Christian? What's up, dude?
Nothing much. It's good to be on the show. It's been a while.
Damn, dude, it's been a long time. When's the last time you've been on here?
Probably last either March or April.
Yeah, dude, it's been a minute. And now, just so this isn't too weird, this is Jeff from the Atomic Bear, and Christian. I don't know if that's a formal introduction to it, but Christian. Now, one thing that I want to just ask right off the bat, because it's cold and it's wintertime, the temperature of the water, and I know this sounds crazy, but when it comes to the temperature of the water, are you fishing with freshwater fishing? They would come up closer to the top, right? Because of the warmer water.
Yeah.
Is that still the case in the saltwater?
See, like it's different for like the different types of areas. So like in the bay, for like instance, like most of the fish move into the deeper waters, like the canals and whatnot. So that's a really good spot to fish for them. But out in the Gulf and whatnot, it just really depends on the type of fish you're looking for. Like some of the pelagic species, like bonita, like they'll stay up on top. This is a good time of the year to fish for them. They come out when it's cold. Whiting, pompano just starting to show back up. But yeah, definitely when it starts to get warmer, there's going to be a lot more activity out in the Gulf and whatnot. So I'm just waiting for, March, April to show up. But there's some good fishing in the wintertime, yeah.
Yeah. And I know that you do a lot of pier fishing, and, man, you've probably been all over, though, with it. But right now, what's the season in? So let's just say right now I'm on an island. I'm stranded, okay, for some weird reason. What is going to be my go-to fish that I'm going to be looking to catch?
This time of year, really, there's three things: sheep's head, bonita, and whiting off the beach, and some mixed in redfish and whatnot. But starting up in about a couple weeks is the cobia season. That's one of the biggest fisheries on the Gulf Coast in the springtime. So that's really what we're all been waiting for. Just a couple more weeks.
Yeah. What about you up there, Jeff? What kind of fish? Do you ever do any fishing?
Yeah, we do fish here, and I think now it's everything is frozen. So some people go in the river, and there's a tradition here a bit up north on the St. Laurent River. They dig holes in the river, and they have little you put little cabins over it, and then a little fire. The ice doesn't melt fully, so you're safe. They drive a dirt truck there and they just fish. That's the winter fishing. And I would say in the summer, well, like it's paradise for fishing, especially if you're willing to drive a bit up north. We're big on fish like trout. Actually, don't know all the names in English. That's funny. I'm French speaking. I used to be going to go fishing with my dad and my granddad, so I actually don't. Like we have Ashigan. I can name them all, but I don't know you guys will understand that. But basically, lake fishing and a bit of salmon fishing if you go in the rivers.
Oh, cool.
And I mean, this is big here. So when summer arrives, like everybody is getting in their truck and they're going fishing. That's definitely a big thing.
Yeah, I miss fishing, and I grew up freshwater fishing and just did a little bit of saltwater fishing. And I know you might laugh at me, but the sea cats, you're not supposed to eat the saltwater catfish, right?
No, like honestly, in the saltwater catfish, there's like two different types. You got the gaff top and the hardhead. Hardhead's just trash fish. It's one of those things you catch. Like, oh man, come on, because in those ones they've got all like the spines and stuff on them. So, but the gaff tops, they get a little bit bigger. They kind of look like the hardheads, but they're decent eating. Nothing special, but people do eat them. But yeah, I know in freshwater they're pretty good eating compared to the saltwater ones.
Yeah, well, I made the mistake, and of course the trash fish you're talking about, I remember catching them off the beach, and I grew up catching catfish in the river and skin them, and I'm like, oh, I got all these catfish, skin them all, cooked them, it's and nobody told me though, so I'm sitting there eating these saltwater cats, these trash fish. But that is cool though, is because you're big into the salt. You've got them up there with the salmon and the bears, and then I guess I'm just more of the redneck style lake fishing for the bass. But
yeah, I do have a question for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Like, one thing that is very striking to me is when you like, there's a show called Alone, right? Where they actually send people alone in Patagonia or in Vancouver Island, and they have to survive on their own, and they can only bring about 10 items with them, and the only thing they get to catch is to eat and they stay there for 60 days to up to 90 days, right? And the only thing they get to eat is fish, right? And it's the biggest challenge. What make them fail is basically not catching enough fish. So if you're on the shore of a lake, and you've got to catch fish, or maybe an ocean, you've got to catch fish for to survive there. So do you have any tricks or any like skills or things people should be thinking about bringing with themselves just in case, or what should they do to be ready to fish if they stranded somewhere and they have to just eat to survive?
Yeah.
Any advice or any tricks or?
Honestly, it's going to be hard regardless fishing, on a survival type situation, just because you're not prepared with the fishing poles, the bait, the line, and all that. But there are some things you can do. Some things that I've seen and whatnot online. They make pole spears, out of a long piece of a skinny stick, and they'll sharpen that with like either they have a knife or they'll use a stone or something like that and spearfish them. Mm-hmm. There's lots of different types of nets you can make, especially with the vines. For a little bit bigger fish, you can weave those together and kind of make it's a trap to where they'll kind of like swim into it, and they'll have it to where there's little teeth almost to where they can swim in easily. But whenever they try to swim out, those teeth will kind of like, keep them from getting out there. There's some stuff you can use. You can use those little pieces of the coming off the pond fronds. You can tear those up and make almost a type of fishing line. And the vines, it's a little bit stronger. If you're on like a tropical something like that, there's cans and stuff like that. You can actually take the little tab off the top and cut out the little piece to make a little hook, which is pretty cool. And you can use things. You dig up like worms and stuff like that to catch them. But as far as specific scale, I've never been in that situation to where I've had to catch my own fish for survival. But those are some of the basic things that you can do to get good understanding on how to do that.
Yeah.
Imagine if you get a fish and you want to you already have a fish or something. What we use as a bait? What's the I heard some people saying you should be using the liver of the fish. It's the best bait. Or what are the if I want to maximize my chances worms, piece of fish, like what would be advice in that specific case?
I think what you should start off doing definitely is trying to find some worms. If you can find worms, that's always great bait for any type of fish. And then it's always good, if you catch one fish and you see that they're biting, pretty easily, I'd sacrifice that one fish and cut it up and use the whole thing, every bit of part of it for bait. Just so you have, more bait than just the worms, because that's going to last a lot longer, allows you to catch more fish than using just one piece of worm.
Yeah, on brim fishing, what was weird is that I had a few crickets. I caught a brim, and brim will eat almost anything. I cut up the brim, and it stayed on the hook better, and I would just throw a piece of the brim. So they were just like cannibals, or they were just eating their own. And I would sit here, and I could just catch brim all day off a piece of brim.
Yeah, we actually... Yeah, that's cool. We have something like that similar to saltwater. Like you got there, they're called white trout. And the best bait to catch white trout is white trout. So you throw out your line, you catch one, and you've got enough bait to catch, 20 or 30 of them. So that's honestly the best way, as far as a survival type situation would go, to, catch the most fish.
Well, let me ask you this. Anybody that's watching right now, and I saw a good one, and I think it was Dale, and it's already gone by now, but he was saying paracord. And then I got to thinking, okay, maybe he means weave a paracord thing together to make a net.
So Matt, inside the paracord, if you cut open a paracord, you have a little string in it, and you can pull these strings and use and build, your fishing line with it, or you can use it to many things. Yeah, so you cut it open, and you normally have between 5 and 7 little strands of cord in there, so you can use it for fishing.
Oh yeah, so basically, in a nutshell, if you had, you can make a hook. You got your little string out of the paracord, find you a stick or a piece of bamboo. Now you got a cane pole. All you need is that one fish, and then continue to...
Yeah. Well, another cool thing is they have like those Hawaiian slingshots, and what they'll do is, like, if with the paracord, I'm not sure if the inside it's got... If you can find some type of like elastic material, you can actually make kind of like a pole spear. So you'll have like you have your stick, and you kind of cut some pieces at the bottom for it sharper, 2 or 3 pieces, kind of split it into 4s and get those sharp pieces like that. And if you have some... if you got the paracord and there's an elastic piece in the paracord, you can actually if you have a longer piece of wood or stick or something like that, you sharpen it at the end, and you get it to where you can fasten it to where you kind of pull that. You got the, I don't know how to say this. This elastic part will be shorter than the stick, so once you kind of pull it up and you'll have it on your wrist, and then once you let go, that stick will shoot forward, and you can use it as like a pole spear like that. It's called the Hawaiian sling. So if any of you are interested, you can check that out.
I think we might have a problem here, and maybe not. Do you see what's going on? Jeff, on your end, is Facebook still up for you?
Yeah, I see still Facebook is still up, but I've got some people asking if it's still live or if it's still... So maybe some people are having some lagging.
Yeah, it might be.
Definitely live.
Hey, Logan or Enoch, anybody that's on the YouTube channels that I'm seeing, how is YouTube doing? And now we're on triple screen.
Both YouTubes are up.
All right, so both YouTubes are. Is it lag?
Not really.
All right, so sorry about that, guys. I just saw it in the chat and just wanted to do it. Jason says he's still in here, and calls 911. What's the emergency? The Kara. Yep, both. Yeah, okay. So I think everything is good. JJ Hart was saying he lived out of his truck and he lived off fish, frogs, and boiled water.
Whoa. I just want to do a shout out to Mark Reese. It's his birthday today, and he's watching the show. He's with us. So man, and he mentioned also like using chicken liver as a bait should be it works best for him.
Oh yeah, chicken liver. I tore the catfish up on the chicken livers running trout lines. The only thing bad about the chicken liver is that it won't stay on the hook, for a long time. So once it'll just come on off. But chicken livers is definitely a go-to. Now, speaking of shout-outs, I want to go ahead and do this. But before I shout them out, let me go ahead and add one thing. Is, guys, if you want to stay around until the end of the show, we are going to be doing a giveaway on a cool little tactical flashlight. So stick around for that. But also, Blackwood Blades. He was a winner, I think, 2 weeks ago. He had sent us a picture, Jeff, of him holding the knife. And I know you can't see it, but I've got it up on screen right now. So
awesome.
Man, so he actually liked his knife, and he said thanks, and he sent us a picture of it. So big shout out to Blackwoods, and we're going to do another giveaway like that, like we always do. But do have a question. If you had to pick one tool right now for fishing, what's it going to be?
It'd probably be the hooks, just because they're so hard to create. It's as effectively. You can always make string, like I said, out of the paracord. You can use vine and something like that. But the hook's just going to be hard, just because you're not going to be able to get that sharpness that you're going to have. Something small, compact like that. And the fish, they do see that stuff. So you're using something a little bit bulkier, you're not going to get as many bites. But if you've got that small little hook, it's going to make it a lot easier to catch more fish.
Yeah, I can see that, because you don't ever think about hooks. I have these little survival bomb things and fishing line, and it's all wrapped up in there. But I don't know if there's an actual hook in there. But just getting the little bitty hooks, maybe not treble hooks, but just having those in your bug out bag, or the little flat packs of 3. So just hooks that might be the way to go. What you think about that?
Hey, Christian, I do have a question for you. Like, would you think this would be very successful at catching fish? It's a lure.
If you had a hook on there, fish really, they're kind of like, they attack stuff instinctively. So if they're going to see moving, shiny, anything shiny works really good.
Okay.
So yeah, honestly, if you had it to where you could attach that to a line, and you could put that little hook on there, you would have a pretty good chance of catching some fish, especially if they're more of a predator type, North to the surface attack and bait fish, and not bottom dwelling.
Yeah.
Look what he made.
So basically, find a can, right? Like, this is Red Bull, but any can has, if you have to, right? You can cut different parts to try to see if any lure works better. But I don't know. I've never tried this one. I'm gonna give it a try, see how it works.
Yeah, it definitely kind of just acts like a little spoon in a way, like that.
Yeah, the thing that was also, did you see where he took the bottle cap and made a hook out of the?
Yeah,
the
that's
pocket?
what I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. But the one thing I would wonder about that little lure is it would probably float on top of the water. Wouldn't you need like a little weight to weigh it down?
Yeah, the weight would definitely help. Some fish, they actually have topwater lures, so some fish do feed on the surface. Flies, stuff like that stay towards near the surface of the water. There's specific types of lures that you work on top, but it would definitely help if you could somehow add a little bit more weight to that. Maybe shape some more of that metal, around the lure. But yeah, there's gonna be a little more fish that are gonna eat it, mid-water range.
Yeah, I got a question from Michael O'Connor, or I think I'm reading that right. It's a thing so far away, but he was asking, can you use a safety pin? What's y'all's thoughts on that? You think you could use a safety pin?
Yeah, for sure. If you could bend it, you don't really need a barb. The barb helps a lot, keeping the fish on the line.
Yeah.
But if you keep your line tight to where it's not gonna, wiggle out, if you had a safety pin, that would work well, because you could bend it around. It's really thin, so the fish aren't gonna see it very well, and it's definitely a lot sharper than something like a bottle cap.
Right. Yeah. So man, I got plenty of safety pins. So yeah, man, heck yeah. So that's a good little question to ask. And even with the hooks in there, I've got safety pins. Never thought about using a safety pin. Definitely didn't think about using the bottle cap. So Jeff kind of schooled me 2 weeks ago. We were doing survival tips, and he cut it out of that Red Bull can. But guys, if you got any questions for Christian about fishing, we're definitely all ears on it. And it seems like there's a lot of people in here. Corn works too for bait. I don't know if I've ever fished with corn. You ever fish with corn, either one of y'all?
I've heard about it, that they use corn for mullet fishing, up in the rivers.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny that you mentioned like chicken livers and corns and stuff. Like, you go out to saltwater, you're out saltwater fishing, and you're out there using corn or chicken liver. People would just look at you real funny. But I know it. I've heard stories of people. It definitely works good up in the rivers, freshwater fishing. But it's a completely different world when you're saltwater fishing. So it's just funny to see that you guys talking about corn and chicken livers. Me, usually doing saltwater fishing, I'm kind of thinking, what in the world? Like,
yeah, the craziest thing I've ever caught, like, we pulled up trout lines, other people's trout lines before, whatever, don't condone it. But you could pull it up and you would see, and they had marshmallows on there.
Really?
Yeah, catfish will eat just about anything. They go off a smell, but they had marshmallows and then Dial soap, like the bars of soap.
Yeah.
They would do that. They would hook the soap on there and
strange.
catch them right off of that. Big, giant catfish. But yeah.
Wow.
And I'm actually hoping to go hunting tomorrow and fishing on Saturday if it doesn't rain. So I might even try to do some of this stuff.
Yeah, the cool thing is, like, I've never been, up trout lighting, up in the rivers, fishing for big catfish. It's gonna be a cool, it'll be a cool experience if we can go up there, and catch some real big catfish, because that's something I've never done before. It's just mainly saltwater fishing for me.
Yeah. And what's the biggest fish you've ever caught, Jeff?
A 10 pounds one. It was pretty pretty big one. Yeah, yeah. What I like is the trout, but the lakes, like in the lakes, if you get like a 2 pounds, a big trout, it's a big trout, right? Like it's so delicious.
Yeah.
You just cook it and it's like it's heaven, right?
Yeah.
It's heaven.
What about
Yeah.
you, man? What's the biggest one you've got?
Um,
down here in the saltwater, you probably got a big.
Yeah, for sure. See, that's the thing I like about saltwater fishing. You just catch so much bigger fish, especially off the pier. You know, fishing inshore, you can catch redfish and stuff that go up to like 10, 15 pounds. But off the pier, we got tarpon, cobia, and all these. The biggest fish I ever caught was about 125-pound tarpon. And the cool thing about those, they like jump out of the water and they'll do flips and stuff. So that's one of the biggest sport fish down here. Fishing off the pier is tarpon. King mackerel, cobia, those get up to 30 pounds, 40, 50 pounds. Some of the cobias can even get up to 100 pounds. So that's the cool thing about fishing, down here in the saltwater. There's just so much variety. You can catch small fish, you can catch big fish, you can catch, medium size. There's a lot of different variety, which is the fun thing for me.
Yep. Well, I think I got y'all beat. What y'all think the biggest one I've ever caught in pounds? What do y'all say?
I'm calling like a 20 or 30 pound catfish.
20 or 30 pounds? 1,750 pound sea bass.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
No.
No, I'm joking. I don't know. I think maybe a 50-pound catfish. I can remember when I was about 8 years old, we got one on the trot line. I think about 50 pound. Granddad caught like an 80-something pound. But other than that, I don't know. That's they're all the good eating small ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about y'all? What's the biggest fish in the chat that y'all have caught right there? Let's see. Hot dogs for catfish. Oh yeah, hot dogs will work. That was from Jay. Let's see. Wheaties and beef liver. I never heard of fishing with Wheaties. Like Wheaties the cereal, Melissa?
I feel like it'd fall off really easy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then, let's see. Biggest is 5 from Enoch. My dad won't take me fishing, somebody said. And then, oh, man. What does that say right down there? Grunions? I can't read it. From Jay? For saltwater fishing? Grunions, what are those?
I'm not sure. There's a brand named Grundens, and that's kind of like a saltwater, like heavy rain gear thing. But if that's what you're referring to, I actually own a pair of Grundens. I love them. That's what the people use on like Deadliest Catch. You see them with the big raincoats and the pants. That's what Grundens are. I'm not sure if that's the same thing as Grunions, but
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: are you still making fishing poles and fishing rods and doing that?
Yeah, I make them on the side. I actually I started doing them up for I work at the local bait and tackle shop, and they got me doing all the repairs and the custom rods over there. And then I actually just started I make my own lures. So like cobia jigs, it's pretty cool. You just so much to do with them. Pompano jigs, different type of stuff. You get them with the lead, and they'll have the lead in the hook, and then you heat them up and dip them in powder paint, dip them whatever colors you want, and then you'll get the bucktail. They'll color different types of bucktail off of deers, and you wrap that on there with thread, and you can put sparkle, flash, just about whatever you want on there. So that's been some fun. I've been doing that, selling them. Same thing with the rods. So it's just something I like to do. It was my passion fishing. So it's like I could build rods, go fishing, work at a bait and tackle shop. I kind of got the best of both worlds, working and doing the same thing that I like to do.
Hey Christian, I have a question for you. Like I have to admit, I never did seawater fishing, right? So saltwater fishing. If I want to give it a try and have fun, what would you recommend I do?
It really depends on like the area that you're going to be fishing on. Like most people or most areas, they'll have like a local pier or a local bridge. That's honestly the best place to start, because most bridges is where there's going to be a lot of life there, just because the pylons, they've got the most of the bait fish and stuff will stay around all that structure. So that's a good place to start. You can really just go out there and throw some baits out, see what you get. And just the best thing to do, honestly, though, is to ask people questions, see what other people are doing. So that's how I learned. Whenever I started going out to the pier, I kind of would just go out there and watch and ask people questions. And, after about a year or two of kind of, implementing that, I started catching a lot more fish, started to get to know a lot of things. So that's the best thing to do, is to ask questions and watch how other people who are catching their fish are doing it.
Yeah. And Todd, I know that you have a question, and he says he has a question before the show ends. And y'all go ahead and ask. But since we are kind of trying to hit our mark on it, I tell you what, let's go ahead and jump into. But if anybody's got any questions for Christian, y'all just send them in the chat. We'll quiz him. Ask him some hard stuff. We'll make it fun. But for the giveaway that we're going to be doing tonight, we'll go ahead and knock this out. We got a trivia question for everybody. And right now, Christian is using my close-up camera, but it's a little Atomic Bear, the tactical flashlight. It's got the strobe, the bright, and the dim, and this thing is super bright. And what I think would be a cool thing with this, Jeff, is put it on top of a tactical shotgun, with the rails.
Yeah.
And then have it so you got the strobe, the dim, and the brightness, so you can really do, whatever. But this is actually a really cool idea right here. Boom. Now, what I want to do is, Jeff, do you want to talk about this light any?
Well, I think you said it all. Like,
okay,
it's
yeah,
a
I just
small
wanted to
light.
give you the floor.
Yeah, you just put it in your pocket. You put it anywhere. You can put an amount, as you mentioned. It's super easy to carry, and you can use it to defend yourself if you're in the dark. Strobe mode, and you can hit with the serrated anna to defend yourself. But truly, it's a tool to see far and close, and to get you out of the dark if you need to. So yeah, that's it. It's an awesome small flashlight.
Yeah,
I like
no
it.
doubt. I'm gonna actually use it this weekend when I go up there. So, guys, if y'all are still in the chat, this is how this is gonna work. Ben is going to play a movie clip, and the first person that can guess what clip this movie is from, I think I'm saying this right, will actually go home with this flashlight tonight. So, if y'all ready, I'm ready. Ben, we got it ready?
Yes, we do.
Let's do it. All right, guys, here is the clip. Ha ha ha! What do y'all think it is, guys? Y'all have a guess on what it is? Y'all don't. Well, no, don't say nothing. I don't want to give it away. And Jeff, he can't. What I realize is Jeff, whenever he's Skyping us, he can't see the things that we can see, so he just has to wait on the delay for it. He's like, man, I wonder what it's gonna be. But while Ben is doing that and trying to find a winner, rather, did we have any questions for Christian that was in the chat?
Let's take a look real quick. Somebody said, I started on the Naples, Florida pier. I think, Christian, haven't you wanted to go there for a while?
Isn't that
fish?
down is that on the east? I'm not sure who it was, but if it's on the
It's
east
on the Gulf
coast,
Coast.
on the east
Naples.
coast or the west coast.
I think Naples is on the Gulf Coast, right?
West. It's on the west side.
Yeah.
So on our side of the
Yeah.
it's down there. The only really thing different compared to fishing up here and fishing more down in South Florida is the snook. Y'all get a lot more snook than we do. We rarely catch snook. Y'all get the occasional bonefish. It's real rare to see those. So those are the two. Really, the only differences in our fishing is the snook and the bonefish. But everything else is pretty much the same.
Ask Christian what's the biggest fish in the world. That's for me, not. What's the biggest fish in the world?
The biggest fish in the world, as far as fish goes, not sharks or
Right.
whales or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
would probably it's got to be a blue marlin. They catch 1,000 pounds or bluefin tunas.
Is that bigger than a sea bass?
Just a hair, yeah. Those get up to I want to say 1,400 pounds.
Oh.
All right, well, I think we have a winner.
Okay, let's check it out.
Let's head on over to the comments here. Now, the clip might have looked easy, and we got a lot of jaws. A lot of jaws. But the trick was, which jaws was it? And United States FBI got it correct. He was the first one out after 12 comments of Jaws.
Wow.
He finally came in with Jaws 2. So congratulations, United States FBI. That was a trick little movie clip right there.
That was. And, it was funny because when we were thinking about fishing trivia questions, me and Ben are sitting there, he's like, what about Jaws? I'm like, nah, it's too easy. Then we're like, Jaws 3. And we're like, you know what? Jaws 2. And so what happened is exactly what we thought was going to happen. So congrats, United States FBI. Is that who won?
Yep.
So the whole FBI of the United States just won this tactical flashlight. So use it wisely, FBI. And guys, hopefully you enjoyed the show. And Jeff, you've got another giveaway for everybody, right? Something free for everybody?
Yeah, exactly. So I've got a PDF. It's not a small PDF. There's this. I just printed the front page of it, but it's like 104 pages. And in this, the content there is pretty cool for people who are into prepping. Prepper mistakes to avoid. Did you say shelter? So how to build your shelter, food, water, building your bug out bag, all this type of things, all for free. You only have to head to theatomicbear.com/guide, like GUIDE.
It should be below us.
It's there. Good. So theatomicbear.com/guide, and just enter email, and you'll have access to this awesome handbook. And give us comments. Tell us if you like it or not, or whatever. If you would like to have things added to it or whatever, you can email us, show@theatomicbear.com. Or just message us on either YouTube or Facebook, and that's it.
Yeah, and thanks again for stopping by, Christian. I know this was kind of a rushed episode, but hopefully we can get you back on and fishing. Fishing, because dude, there's probably so many routes that we can take when it comes to this, and of course, we go more the survival route. But dude, honestly, we could do probably 2-hour podcast just talking about fishing.
Yeah,
just
for sure.
Sitting here messing around. But appreciate you coming on the show last minute, man.
Yeah, no problem.
And
it was fun.
Jeff, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Well, I just want to say thank you guys for organizing this and the shifting on shifting gear very quickly. And Christian, thank you so much for being there. And I'm so pleased and so happy to see everybody who just joined us. This show is just growing, and I'm super happy, and it just proved that the work we're putting into it is worth it. So thank you guys for attending, and see you next time.
Yeah. So thanks again, guys, for watching, and everybody just tell one person, and then that person tell one person, and we will take this show definitely to the next level. But appreciate it, Jeff, Ben, appreciate it. Thanks everybody for watching the Atomic Bear Show, and we will see y'all this time or the same time next week.